डॉक्टर बाबा साहेब आंबेडकर ओपन यूनिवर्सिटी.
Hello friends, warm welcome into the course. In this course, we will discuss regarding the cybersecurity fundamentals and basics of the cybersecurity. So, friend, as we know, in previous session we discussed regarding the Windows firewall. So, let's recall speedily what is the firewall. Firewall is a one kind of security mechanism provided by the operating system or some third party application, and these are the application which monitors network traffic and based on the rule configured they block or allow the particular packets, that means network traffic. So as far as concerned with the security, firewall are very important concept, and firewall plays a very important role for the network security. So in previous session we discussed regarding the generalized aspects of the firewall, but as far as concerned with the operating system, there are two prominent operating systems for the common user. One is the Windows, another is the Linux. So both these operating systems are having firewall, inbuilt firewall mechanism nowadays, but both between them significant difference is also available. So in this session we will go through the Windows firewall as well as Linux firewall, and we will also learn the difference between both these operating systems inbuilt firewall. So in this session we will discuss about the Linux based firewall as well as Windows based firewall. Now first of all we will discuss the Windows firewall. Now in a Windows firewall, actually the Windows operating system, in a earlier version of the Windows operating system like Windows 98 or Windows 95, there was no firewall. But after the Windows XP, Microsoft Corporation has provided the inbuilt firewall, and the main mechanism or the main concept for the Windows firewall is to block the unauthorized network flow into the and out of into the local device by the providing host base or the outside of the network. So actually the firewall is a mechanism which works at the second layer of the OSI, or we can say it's an entry point for each and every network traffic immediately after the physical layer. So the firewall checks each and every incoming traffic coming toward the host, enter into the host, as well as it also monitors the outbound traffic, that means the traffic which travel from the host toward the outside of the network. So we can say it's one kind of security check, and as we know the network package, it each and every network packet contains lots of information like the source IP address, destination IP address. The packet header information contains various protocol regarding information, as well as in case of TCP there are various fields like synchronize field, reset field, the flag variables are there. So the firewall examine, inspect each and every kind of header information and monitors the content filtering firewalls. Nowadays the firewall are also enough mature that they can examine the content also. So based on that, they examine the content, the packet, network packet, and it checks the packet according to the pre-configured rule. Rules are configured in a firewall, and based on that, that means the two-way monitoring for the inbound traffic as well as for the outbound traffic. For the inbound traffic as well as for the outbound traffic, the Windows firewall examines the network traffic, and based on the pre-configured rule, it may block the particular network traffic also. Nowadays the Windows firewall with advanced security feature includes three profile. So we discuss regarding the rule. Now first of all we need to understand what is the rule. Rule are the prerequisite condition for the Windows firewall or any firewall. Rule, that means there are certain condition, and if packet meets this kind of condition, at that time the course of action is also defined. So for example, these are the for example, certain sites have been blocked by the network administrator, and they are categorized as a block website. Now if any host is receiving traffic from this kind of blocked site, at that time the firewall examines the traffic. Now based on which rule it examine the based on the pre-configured rule. Pre-configured rule, that means for this traffic you should not allow, for this traffic the traffic can be categorized as a normal traffic. So these are the rule have been already configured in a firewall, and based on these rules the firewall allows or blocks the particular network traffic. Now furthermore, with the advanced security, Windows firewall nowadays are coming with the three profile. That means it is quite common that now users are traveling across the places, and each and every places they might access the internet, or they might connect with the outside of the network, or it is also quite natural that they are accessing the outsider network from their home or from their trusted places. So now in that situation there are three inbuilt profiles are available, and these three are domain, private and public. So domain profile, that means the profile is configured according to that according that assumption that the particular user is accessing internet or outsider network for one's departmental or work point of view. So at that time he or she is accessing the organization's domain, and he or she connects from the organization's network. At that time his or her profile is work in a such a way that particular traffic blocked website are not allowed, as well as the network discovery is on, inbuilt network discovery is on, and printer sharing feature, this kind of sharing feature are also available. Now the private profile, in a private profile, the assumption is that the one is accessing the outside the network from his or her home or trusted place, and from this place he or she does not want to share or does not want to disclose the information regarding his computer or her computer. That means the network discovery is by default turned off. So turn on, because all the connected nodes, all the other devices in a similar network are confident, are trusted nodes. So that means he or she can connect his or her mobile phone, laptop, tablet, iPad, etc. within a private network, and the network discovery is by default on, and printer sharing is also by default on. Now the public profile, that means the assumption is that for the public profile is a particular person is accessing the internet or outside of the network from the public place. So another assumption is that the surrounding devices which are also connected with the same network are not trustable. So in that case, the network discovery is by default on, as well as the sharing feature like printer sharing or are also by default off. Network discovery is also off, as well as these kind of sharing feature are also off. So up to some extent, the user can maintain the privacy, and based on the privacy maintained, the security is also maintained. Now uh, in an advanced security Windows firewall, uh, in a three network state which we have discussed, the network administrator or user can configure the following option like firewall state, inbound connection, outbound connection, protected network connection, IP security settings. So the firewall state, that means the level of the security is also uh, defined, or the network administrator or user can change the state of the firewall. So high, medium, low. So these are the security state. After that, inbound connection, that means for the particular which kind of connections are required to be monitored, or which kind of connection are can be considered as a normal connection. For the same outbound traffic, that means if you want to restrict certain kind of data or certain kind of packet that sends from your network to another network, at that time you can send the outbound connection also. Protected network connection, that means if you want to protect your network, and based your network is protected, and based on that, if you want in this kind of network you want to connect multiple devices, that means for your private point of view or a private network, it's also available. After that, the ip security setting, that means it contains various information like if you want to block traffic from the particular IP, or if you want to receive, if you want to open particular port for receiving the traffic, or if you want to block particular port, we can say if you want to open, or if you want to deny the specific services for the particular port, this kind of configuration are also possible in a Windows firewall. Now apart from that, IP security, the packet filtering, because we discussed regarding the packet filtering. uh, Now Windows also provides the functionality of the virtual private network, that means VPN. Now virtual private network is a completely different concept, and we need to understand in a detail. So VPN are the networks which uh, can be considered as an extension of existing network. So within a defined network, the user can create his own network, and these kind of networks are especially uh, configured by the organization nowadays while they are offering the work from home concept. Because for example, with the help of internet facility or the based on the prominent network available, ultimately internet is a network of networks. So using this facility, an organization forms a separate network and configures in a such way that only legitimate users or the users those who are having the authenticated credential can only access certain kind of network, or can perform certain kind of operation only according to the roles have been assigned to them. Now the main advantage is the separation. So ultimately, with the help of this separation, because it's a virtual power private network, so it is not public network, and outsider world or attackers cannot get the idea about this kind of network directly. So the organization can maintain the privacy, and based on this maintained privacy, they can also maintain the security. Now another use of the VPN are to bypass geographic restriction or websites, streaming audio website. So this is the concept is like that. If particular applications are banned in a particular country, so for example, uh, the border movie is banned in a Pakistan. So Pakistani user cannot watch the border movie. If via any source, if he manage the movie online, at that time lots of monitoring or lots of restrictions are also possible. But if this person particular located in a Pakistani connect any VPN, connect through the internet by using any VPN channel which is available outside the Pakistani, or the server located outside, or we can say the other than the geographical boundaries of the Pakistan. At that time, using this kind of geographical restriction, using this kind of VPN, one can bypass these geographic restrictions. Now protect yourself from snooping on untrustworthy Wi-Fi hotspot. So if you are accessing, or if you are using the VPN, at that time the untrustworthy Wi-Fi hotspots. Nowadays we can see Wi-Fi hotspot fixed at various public place, but you can maintain, or you can protect yourself by using VPN from this kind of Wi-Fi hotspot. Then after, anonymity, that means if you want to maintain the anonymity, that means if you want to change, if you want to hide your real IP address while you are accessing internet, or if you want to hide your true location, at that time VPN are also useful. That nowadays we know about the torrent website, and torrent website, so many torrent website, to access this kind of torrent website are not uh, legal in our country or in other countries. But if one belongs reside in a particular country and want to access this kind of torrenting website, with the help of one can access. So these are the benefit of or the features of the Windows firewall. Now another concept is the Linux firewall. Now before we start the discussion of Linux firewall, we need to understand the difference between Linux and Windows, because as we know, Windows is a proprietary product of the Microsoft Corporation. Windows is a proprietary product of the Microsoft Corporation. So if legally you are not allowed to change any kind of change is permissible in a Windows. Legally any kind of change is not permissible in a Windows, while Linux is open source product. First of all, Linux was developed by the Linus Torvald in a 1991. University of Helsinki, located in Finland, undergraduate student of the University of the Helsinki. So the entire Linux is derived from the Unix operating system, and it's an open source. It's an open source product, and everyone can use, and even one can modify Linux behavior and can release its own Linux for the community benefit. So this is the first difference. Another is the feature. Windows is more user friendly up to some extent. It's a misconception, but although we can say Windows is a more user friendly, and because Windows provides the user friendly graphical user interface, but Linux provides the more reliability, more efficiency in terms of speed, and we can say the trustworthy connection. So while you want to deal with the multiple users on a single machine, Linux is more preferable than the Windows. And Linux is available in a two flavors. Now these flavors are based on the Linux kernel. So one is the .deb Debian based family operating system, and one is the .rpm based family. So CentOS, Red Hat, SU Linux are belongs to the RPM, Red Hat Package Manager family, and Ubuntu or other this kind of products are based can be categorized as a .deb family Linux. Now both are the Linux family operating system, but the difference is based on their kernel or based on their package managers offered in a particular Linux flavor. Now, so there are various inbuilt feature are available in Linux also, and these features are purely related with the security. That means we can say firewall. So one feature is the net filter. Net filter is a framework. Net filter is a framework provided by Linux kernel. So itself Linux kernel provides the net filter, which allows the networking operation to be implemented in form of handlers. So here in a Linux, the networking operations are implemented or available in form of handler. Net filter supports the different kind of operation or functions for the packet filtering, network address translation, a port translation. We'll discuss later on what is the network address translation as well as the port translation. Then after, we can say you may also manage firewall rules on any Linux system with the standard IP tables. IP tables are the command line utility. So use of the IP table will configure the restriction for the IP version 4. IP table 6 provides the feature or provides the feature to configure the IP version 6. Now the NAT, network address translation, is a process in which the network IP address is translated into a one or more global IP address, one or more local IP address is translated into a one or more global IP, and vice versa. So it also provides the port translation. Now port translation, port forwarding or port mapping is important because whenever it is required to hide the actual port, because it is sometimes it is very essential or very important to hide the port number, real port number from the attackers, so they cannot directly launch the attack. At that time the port forwarding facility is also available, and IP tables are the inbuilt facility for the Linux framework. Now the security enhanced Linux. Security enhanced Linux is the project of USA, Network Security Agency, in a collaboration with the Red Hat. So is a Linux security kernel module. In a Linux kernel, security module is integrated, and which provides the mechanism, the kind of mechanism like access control or security policy, including mandatory access control. So this is the flavor of secure SE Linux or security enhanced Linux. So it's not different kind of operating system, but with the help of, and nowadays not only for the Red Hat, in a CentOS or Fedora, SE Linux flavor are also available. So this is the project of NSA, National Security Agencies, in a collaboration of Red Hat and Linux community to enhance the security in a Linux from the kernel level itself, and the security in kind of access mechanism as well as mandatory access control policy. So this is the SE Linux. Now in this session, because if we want to recall our discussion, that at this point, at that time, we need to recall the point, like which are the point we have discussed. We have discussed about the Windows firewall, we have discussed about the Linux firewall, we have also discussed basic difference between the Linux and Windows, because these features are very important for our understanding. And we have also discussed regarding the inbound connection, outbound connection, rule based policies. So these are the important aspect of the Windows firewall as well as Linux firewall. Hope this session is fruitful for you. Okay friend, thank you very much.
स्वाध्यायः परः